Happy Monday. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon, the DOC from the 313, recapping what I saw on a hot Monday. Dan Campbell ran practice at 10:30, right in the middle of the heat. Did I hide and go to the shade? I really thought about it. I was this close. The media was like, John's going to tap out, but I brought a towel. That really helped as I was sweating through practice. Smart guy with the backpack, video camera, nice Canon EOS to take photos that you guys see at Detroit Podcast. I survived. Doc's not going in the shade. I stood there right on the sideline in the heat. Still there, but man, it was hot. Balmy. Oh my goodness, man, it was tough. The interns were like, you're the only one standing out here in the heat, right? I'm like, yeah, thank you for the waters. I'm toughening it out. I told the reporter, I said, nope, keep me in. I'm not hitting the shade just yet. I should, though. It's pretty stupid to stand out there in the heat, but I like it. I'm Middle Eastern, Mediterranean. We like the heat, but for 2 hours, right about the time there was 30 minutes left, I started to fade and question what I was doing. But I'm tough. Gritty Doc is not tapping out. Whew. What happened Monday? Well, for a guy that likes defense, the defense kind of eased up a little bit on the offense. So if you read that the offense was clicking, it wasn't based on full effort of the defense in team periods. It was more at a walkthrough style. The defense was not trying to destroy the offense, but there were periods where the offense made plays in one-on-one drills and some periods where the offense made plays. But this one kind of had the feel of, all right, our offense is taking a licking all over the internet, so let's get them some plays and some momentum in walkthroughs. So, look, the way I'm going to describe it in my banner is small steps. Completions. There were efforts made by the offense to not look defunct, but you can't surmise any progress or regression based on today. It was, hey, you guys get tomorrow. We're going to have a professional practice. We'll put stuff on tape to review. We'll do our competitive drills in the pits, and we'll get after it. What's up, everybody? Hit the like button for the early people that are here. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that when Doc goes live, it hits your phone and you know, okay, I know that there's something to check out later or check it live. Hit your questions. Those that leave a super chat or a super thanks, you go right to the front of the line. You trump the banners. You trump the topics. Day 12. Let's go over kind of the big picture of what I'm going to talk about. It was a hot day out there at Allen Park. Watched the whole thing, and there were obviously individual drills. There were players that returned. Dan Campbell had a media session, and there were team periods that involved the ones and twos and small efforts for the threes. So we'll talk about clearly the changing of the guard at the backup competition. Everybody sees it. Everybody notices. Everybody put it in their observation. I made it a headline. Today was weird in that it really felt like Hendon Hooker was the third string quarterback. You don't typically see a quarterback be able to walk off the practice field in front of 50 reporters from start to finish and nobody wanted to talk to him. That doesn't happen too often. Nobody. I thought about it, but at the same token, I'm in the same boat. I had already talked to Grant Stewart, Broderick Martin, the new offensive lineman. So Doc got around today. Doc scooted his little feet, and luckily I brought my towel. Otherwise, I would have been a sweaty mess. I got around, and you can check out the observations where we give a sample of what was said. Now, the conversation with Broderick was a little bit tough, but I will give him credit for what he did. I'll talk about how that went down. Talked to the new offensive lineman, and we got after it. So you can check at Detroit Podcast. I basically live tweeted as it was going on, and our live blog was going as the practice. So it was a lot going on, but it was one in which you're not going to make big conclusive statements, but there's some things to take away as always. Always. So thank you for all of you that are getting in early. Great questions as always. Thank you guys. Again, like, subscribe. We're growing every single day. I'm very impressed. We're on our way to 4,000 subscribers. And like you said, I don't think anybody has gone, besides myself, live every single day of camp, Saturday and Sunday included, no days off. So today I'm going to give you a steak. We might have some fun. some minor, deviations, some, talk about some other type stuff as well. But today, football. I woke up, the 10:30 practice was great. Talking to Dan Campbell at 10 was great. You wake up at 7:30 is so much better for me than 5:30. You get more sleep, you wake up, and you guys knew, because of my conversation with Taylor Decker last week, the first headline of the day at 7 a.m., you guys knew, if you follow Lions on SI, Taylor Decker was coming back this week. I put it out there in the atmosphere that Taylor told us last week, I'm coming back this week. And we found out from Dan Campbell it was today. So make sure, hop in. Usually most first stories are in that 7 a.m. hour. We have something. And then we go most days 7-8 stories deep, all about the Detroit Lions and a daily podcast. So I'm hoping that Lions on SI is in the mix for your coverage. It's all I've ever wanted to do, was provide fair coverage from an insider perspective that would be on par with everybody else. And I think, judging by the response, so far so good. But man, it's getting tough. It's getting tough with the heat. I was like, my goodness, it's a fair. Tomorrow's an off day. There's no practice tomorrow, but I'll still be here previewing the Lions and the Dolphins. And Grant Stewart told me something. I'll preview it. I got a great. Grant Stewart is like Amik Robertson. He's a great talker, and he's got full energy. And just on our first conversation today, one-on-one, very vibrant, full of energy, full of life. I asked him about the tough questions about being on the field with Maurice Norris. How do you turn on being I can't wait to share with you. I asked him, how do you balance, like, you're out there, your job is to destroy people. How do you balance that with then going back to being a regular dude afterward? His answer was great, and actually was one in which it reminds me that you never assume what someone's going to say. It was an amazing answer. That's a rugged individual. That's a rugged individual based on what he told me. You're going to love what he said. Hey, Brent, checking in. Mahdi checking in. Got to share. Ahmed left practice early, but he's a dog. He's going to be fine. But my goodness, it was a fun practice to be at. And I just thought that overall, the offense was kind of basically like set up to at least start the week of like, hey, we can complete passes and we can get after it. But the day started, unfortunately, with some bad news. We get a recap that there's so many players on IR. We all know who they were. Colby Sorsdahl. It's unfortunate, man. He was inching his way into the second team and getting after it. That's unfortunate. Kenny Yeboah, knee situation. Man, that's tough. Tough situation all the way around. And unfortunately, the backup center, people were like, Doc, you got to check out Tristan Colon. I was like, all right. Didn't make it. Didn't make it out of the game. He's out for a while. That's what Dan Campbell said with that elbow injury. So Lions had to make a bunch of moves. 4 UFL players signed, a new running back. Unfortunately for Small, he gets waived. Jabari Small didn't work out. And he was trending in the opposite direction based on how Jacob Sailors was performing. Now they have a new running back. You can check out at Detroit Podcast. You can check out the first look. He was out there at practice. I got video of him. It just stinks, man. So many players hitting IR at this point in time, but it doesn't stop. Brad Holmes clearly now is targeting UFL players. There's tape, and they feel comfortable with what's going on. So it is one of those deals where Dan Skipper talked about it, where Justin Herron on IR gets hurt in warmups. That doesn't happen. So Dan Skipper told us something. You'll get a preview of the story. It might come out 4:30 after Christian's on it, but you'll get the preview. You'll get the headline first before a couple others write it. He gave us a headline, Dan Skipper. But we'll start because I know Mahdi's here. Ahmed Hassani left practice after getting rolled up on. He was walking gingerly. But what's great is that he's out in front of everybody. So he walked, he left practice, but he didn't go back to the locker room. He stayed throughout the entire practice, watched. And Dan Campbell obviously has a lot of respect for him, walked right over to him after he got rolled up on. He was walking gingerly and he was limping, but multiple reporters walked up to him and he just gave the nod. I'm good. I'm good. So lower leg injury is what was reported on X, but does not appear, based on what Ahmed said, that a day off should treat him pretty good. It was going to happen right before joint practices. Having a day off tomorrow is going to help. So he left practice early. Does not appear that it's going to be maybe too long. Maybe a missed practice here or there. They're going to take it precaution, but he told us it's all good. It's going to be okay. Tough practices, man. Lions run tough practices. Left practice early, but did not leave the field and walked off on his own. No trainers, and walked off with his new bride. Tough individual. You can just tell. Like, the best way to describe it is if he's not out on the field, he's injured. He'll play hurt, or the other way around. You know how it goes. He's not going to miss games for being nicked up. He'll have to be injured and not able to play to keep him off the field. That's how tough he is. That's how you can just tell. So all respect for him, man. He's a warrior. So I think he's going to be okay. He gave us the nod, and it just, we always get the nod, and typically players don't do that when they're going to have a bad injury. They give us the, I'm good. Typically. And Brent, you didn't have to be worried. Brent DeWitt, greetings, Mr. Hassanin. Woo, great news, Doc. I was worried. You don't have to be worried. It was in the story. I don't hide information. If you read lines on its side, I know you guys love seeing my face, and multiple people to the security guards were like, oh, you shaved today. Yes, I did. Clean shaven. The reporters were like, oh, look at clean shaven, tightened up. Yeah, I had a day off. I don't want to look scruffy. You just get busy. Truly, you can tell those that are grinding because you really don't have time to shave and clean up. But I have multiple meetings that are important, and I can't be looking like that. So I'm shaving for professional reasons, and I want to impress those that are. So far, the interviews have gone great. The people have enjoyed the talks, and second talks hopefully are on the way. Of course, Mahdi, no problem. Directly, you can go follow me on X if you have Twitter at Detroit Podcast. You know right away the website, Lions on SI, right there on the scroll. Information comes direct from me and the crew. Carol Besh gets in too. Great news about Ahmed. I love your guys' video. The passion on that video is great. And I love the fact that you guys are checking in with a Middle Eastern reporter. I love it. Yahala, Carol. Welcome. That's awesome to see. He's doing great. It's a nice progression day by day. I think he's going to have a nice rookie year. Ahmed Hassani, likable. What's up, Stain Vision? What's up, C. Henry, my man? I want to shout out C. Henry. My man's been messaging me for years. Now you're hopping in, seeing me live. My man, C. Henry, has been at me at Detroit Podcast, hitting the doc with his opinions and takes for years. Trust me, I saw them all. Much respect to you, my friend. You make it fun. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. My man, Henry. And he doesn't always support what I say. He'll have some things to say if I'm tripping a little bit, which I love. Good, bad, you like it, you don't like it. He's there. He's been there for years at Detroit Podcast. Makes it fun. I know Mr. Henry's there. It's like, I got to check in with the doc, make sure he's not talking no nonsense. Mr. Henry. I did ask a fellow reporter, Corey Woods, today. You know I'm not scared. But I'll ask you, my friend. I think you guys know we keep it lighthearted. Am I allowed? I don't support Eastern Michigan in any capacity, but I have friends that have deep ties to the Eastern Michigan community. So I'm like, oh, some of the players are commercializing their name. Am I allowed, Mr. Henry? And I asked the reporter, he said, you do your own thing, Doc. I don't know if I'm comfortable yet. Can I wear a KNIGGA hat in public? I don't think so, but the man's selling it. Corey's looking at me like, dog, come on, man. You really going to ask me that? He's like, hey, man, each his own. Just clowning around. Eastern Michigan, selling his own hat. I laugh at it. You know, that's how you got to do it. You got to keep it light. Detroit Sports Talk. Update on Maurice Norris. That was given today. He's on the NFL's concussion protocol list. 10 days, 2 weeks. He was going to relax. So it's going to be good. Dan Skipper's like, he goes to us. It was great today. He goes to us. He's like, we use humor. So he walks up to Maurice Norris in the locker room. He's like, so how was your nap, bro? He's like, that's how he handles it. That's how I handle it, with laughter and silliness. He walks up. Imagine 6'8" offensive lineman walking up to Maurice. How was your nap, bro? Was it good? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mr. Henry. I think I'm going to err on the side of caution. I stick with old English D hats. I don't need to cause no controversy. The K is pronounced, I would say. If people are like, what's that hat? It's K. But I will not. I will not, unfortunately, let the man earn money from his name selling his own hats. And, the doc is more laid back, not trying to draw attention to himself outside of YouTube. But I have permission from Corey. It's great. Thank you to all of the 300 people that are in here. Hit the like button. So the injury situation is wild, man. And Dan Skipper asked for the universe to help out. I'll go with that first, since I went down that subject. And then we'll get to the steak and the potatoes of the practice. Dan Skipper said, whatever voodoo doll is out there in this world hitting us on the injuries, please stop. Please stop. He noticed it. He's like, what on earth would happen, and what bad luck is there where Justin Herron gets hurt in warmups? Dan Skipper sees it. He's like, what on earth is going on? He stayed back. I don't think he was in Atlanta. He was in the Lions facility. And he was with the trainers when it was going down. And he goes in front of the camera. You'll see this story on Lions on SI. He's like, there's some voodoo stuff going on. If you're into that voodoo magic, please do some things to whoever's got the voodoo doll on us. Make it stop, please. Dan Skipper's a man of the people. Dan Skipper is a man of the people. He understands, and he kept it lighthearted. Really one of the nice people to talk to. Stand-up guy, takes the tough questions, and answers them directly. That's all you can ask for. And the Lions have a lot of guys like that. Now, there's a handful that will talk to you, but use cliches. But that's fine. They're all respectful for the most part. I'm working on getting some Lions interviews. My mom's name is Booner. You got to keep up. This is a 24/7 cycle at Detroit Podcast. Yes, Ahmed went down early, but should be okay. Lower leg injury is going to get evaluated. But he walked off on his own power with his wife. Big smile on his face always. Nodded his head. I'm good. But a lot of players say that, so we'll see what that means in terms of the joint practice. I'd love to see him battle the offensive line of the Dolphins. That's right. You can leave in the comments, Mahdi, what he tells you. Feel free. I think he's going to be okay from what I'm hearing. Sources tell me he's going to be okay. So get your questions in. We'll get after it. But Dan Skipper, what do you guys think about these injuries? Because I'm hearing the whispers that people are like, is Dan Campbell running a tough practice? What's going on? Is there any way that this is caused by the Lions? Listen, guys, the Lions players love the way they practice. And Grant Stewart told me, like, other teams don't practice like this. This is part of the reason for the Lions' success. The Lions practice hard. People are going to get hurt every single day. But they got some guys back. I told you Taylor Decker got meaningful reps today. Jamarco Jones, great vet. He came back. Dan Skipper back. And then you got some new members of the offensive line. So I do think that there's opportunities to see what's actually going to happen in regards to the competition along the offensive line. And there was some new shuffling. No doubt about it. So we'll get a chance to see how that looks. We got a chance to see the starting offensive line. I'll share with you my thoughts. Phil, Broderick Martin did well. He talked to the doc. He did something that really rarely happens after a practice. I'll share my thoughts on what happened after. What do you guys think about the injuries? Bad luck, voodoo doll stuff, like Dan Skipper said? I mean, a player's in an arm cast in warm-ups. That is unique. It doesn't happen too much. Sione Vaki, Tom Kennedy weren't out there today. They're signing running backs. That's not a good sign for Vaki. I can't tell you. We didn't get a chance to ask about it, but it's not a good sign when they sign 2 running backs from the UFL. It's not a good sign. Brent? I hate hammies too. They seem to linger all season. They added 2 new running backs, and Jacob Sailors is looking good. Strong runner. He just feels comfortable in his own body. He looks like a running back that the Lions would like. And Deion Jackson, I just got a chance to see today. You can see his movement at Detroit Podcast. Liam, the joint practice will be Wednesday and Thursday. When do we have joint practice with the Dolphins? Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow's an off day, light. Tomorrow we'll preview those in-depthly. My guy, I get us another set of eyes. So we'll have even more in-depth coverage. And I may even hop on a podcast with them. We're going to grab dinner, catch up a little bit, laugh a little bit, and I'll proclaim, first thing I say is, can you believe they could keep me around? Year 8 with On SI, a major platform, has hired a podcaster and partnered with him to let him cover the Lions in his own way. We're going to have a good dinner tomorrow. We'll have a good time. Which is good because we were supposed to be tonight, but I got my physical tomorrow. So personal note, I have a 9 a.m. physical. I am 46 years old. I feel like I'm in great health. So the doctor's going to tell me, Doc, put less stuff on your plate and eat less is what I'm expecting. But I get my physical tomorrow. My primary doctor is female. But I haven't did the cough thing in several years. I think they omitted that from the physical checklist. Blood work, urine test, drug test. I'm going to tell her I'm great. I'm pretty much the same weight as I was a year or 2 years ago. So I think I'll get the clean bill of health, but we'll know next week. I'll report before the Houston series how I'm doing. I'll report honestly. I think the blood pressure might be an issue. The weight will be an issue. But I'll be like, I have full energy. I'm still doing 3 jobs, full speed ahead, and everything's going great on all fronts. The podcast is going great. But what's not going great is how are the Lions getting hurt at this clip? And I know others you see, Rashawn Slater's hurt from the Chargers. But, man. Mike, you're right. Mike Barker. Mike D. Barker, Hotmail. DC has been running tough camp since forever. This just happens. From what I hear, I got actually sources. Per sources. My man at MLive is doing good. The treatment's helping. As he's reporting. John Hughes, daily listener. Appreciate you. What up, Doc? About to take one of my charter boats out and fish a derby. Going to listen to you as well. Turn that some bitch up and tell everybody, look at this fool. He's out here talking about the Lions. That's a unique cat. John Hughes and John the Doc. Lake St. Clair or wherever it is. Let us know where it's at. Where do you patrol? I'll pull up too. The boat's in. Lovely ladies. The Nina. I have a new business venture. Doc Productions. Man, you can never go wrong with Step Brothers. I might have to watch that tonight. Hang out with the boats and the ladies. John the Doc and John Hughes. Oh, way out there. Out in Alaska. That's awesome. That's really awesome. Yeah. So Dan Skipper asked for relief. The voodoo, he's like, please, whatever voodoo. If you're one of those people that's a secret hater and doing some voodoo magic on the Lions, stop it. We got to get back on the right side of injuries. Exactly. No prostate exam. I passed my colonoscopy at 45. Dr. Nandy from Channel 7 did it. I felt so comfortable. And boy, did I earn some points real fast before we get to the steak and potatoes. Did I bond myself to my wife? You know, you're loopy after the colonoscopy. So the first thing I'm loopy, I'm like, where's my wife? I love her to death. Tell her I love her. Tell her that she means the world to me. She's sitting right there. And the nurse is like, oh, I'm like, tell my wife she's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's the secret to my success. And I was looped out of my mind, but it's all true. Nobody can be successful unless they have a strong lady behind them. I got lucky, but I was like looped out of my mind. I'm like, babe, I'm lucky. And the nurse is like, oh, you're so sweet. But Dr. Nandy took care of the doc. I'm all good. 45 years old. If you're above age, make sure you get your health checked out. Yeah, no finger yet. I think 50 years old? Oh, look at that. Check in. Where are you guys listening from? Doc, listening to you from Mexico City. Odele, Mr. Lupe. Muchas gracias, mi amigo. Odele, let's go. La raza, let's go. From Mexico to Alaska to Egypt, we span the globe at Detroit Lions on SI. Spanning the globe. The doc from the 313 can be heard worldwide. Prestige worldwide. The prestigious podcaster worldwide. PP worldwide. PP worldwide, baby. Broadcasting live on a Monday. Ready to spit out what the heck I saw today. PP prestige worldwide. Let's go. All right. Let's get to the steak. Sorry, guys. You saw, and Dan is an expert. Man, is Dan Campbell an expert. Columnist went up there today, and the columnist said, hey, do you guys got a backup problem? And he's like, no, I love what I saw from Kyle Allen. He came in, and Dan kept it positive spin. He's like, Kyle Allen came in, and right away, he handled the motions responsibilities. Everything looked good. He came in and literally was like, nothing on Hendon. I love what I saw from Kyle Allen. It was glaring, and everybody put it in their observation. I made mine the headline. Hendon was talked about like a number 3. So what that means is there's still a battle, but what that means is it's we're already deep into camp, guys. It's August 11th, and he ain't beating Kyle Allen. That's not good. Hendon Hooker should be further ahead. He's 3 years in this system. He's been in the room with Jared Goff. Kyle Allen's a newbie, and he's already beaten you, and at the very worst, you're equal. So don't come and report, well, if you take out the first drive and where Hendon fumbled brutally, well, he was okay. You can't take out the first drive. It happened. It's on tape. Hendon doesn't get to go, well, Dan, after my brutal mistake in the early part of the game that's usually talked about first, heavily in the meeting rooms, Dan, if you take that out, I was pretty much okay, 7 of 10. Don't report like that. Report the whole picture. Well, if you take out this and you slice it up like this, then I'm a good football player. If you take out the fact I'm 5'3" and 46 years old and slow as crap, I could be out there. Don't report like that. Well, based on all the excuses, now you have to factor in some of his teammates didn't help him, but he doesn't command the room. If you take out the fact that I'm bald and 5'3" and married, I could be one of the most eligible bachelors in the world. Don't do that. It happened. He fumbled twice. When Dan Campbell says, I don't want to see fumbles, he literally goes on the radio and goes, my mission for these guys, not to win the game, not to have highlight dances, is I want less turnovers, and I want us to get the turnovers. And you are the leader of the offense getting turnovers. That's a problem. Today was the first time it had the aura feel that Hendon Hooker's the 3. Kyle Allen conducted himself. All the media wanted to talk to Kyle Allen. Hendon Hooker just walked from the practice field straight back, and nobody talked to him. You will not see a Hendon Hooker quote today. You will not see Hendon Hooker on television. That's not supposed to happen to the backup. There's 50 people there that need a quote. He literally walked. I should have did it. But I mean, what are you going to ask him? He already said I had a 0 performance. You already know it wasn't good. What more? Do you want to beat up on the guy? But I should have talked to him. But I'm being honest. I filled up my notebook. Grant Stewart, Broderick Martin, the new offensive lineman, Giovanni Manu talked. I was like, my notebook's full. And I have already 1,000 words in my head that I can spit out about Hendon Hooker. But I should have talked to him. But my notebook was full. He carried himself like a 3 today, threw a pick, and he was with the third team. Now, I do think that, it's one of those deals where the competition is being looked at like Kyle Allen is overwhelmingly ahead. I do think he's ahead, but it's not good at this point in time to be that close to Kyle Allen when you're Hendon Hooker third year in, second year in the system, out on the field full time. He doesn't look like he has command of what's going on, and it's looking like his confidence has been rattled. That's where it's at, and everybody saw it, and everybody's writing about it. So it ain't just the rogue doc talking about it. So when I said today, it looks like he's going to be that way for the foreseeable future. He's got a chance against the Dolphins, but I wouldn't put him out there. I wouldn't put him out there to have his confidence shattered with multiple interceptions. I think he gets certain reps, and you give the 2 reps to Kyle Allen. I think it's going the other way. I think it's going the wrong way for Hendon Hooker. Being even in this situation at this time, not good. That's where it's at. And he's number 3 quarterback until further notice. That's just where it's at. I'm sorry. That's the way it's at. That's how you have to look at it, is you are so close to Kyle Allen, you should be 5 steps ahead. You should be throwing multiple touchdowns. You should be the number 2 every day. You've been given 2 chances now, and both times you haven't shown dominance over the guy over you. You can't make that many excuses. This is the NFL. I'm sorry, guys. Everyone's writing it. That's just the way it is. That's how it looks. So he's got to get this thing in order. Run the offense, be clean, and get the football out of your hands. So that's where it's at currently, and you will read that on every single website that covers the Lions. Kyle Allen is pulling ahead. Dan raved about him. I'm comfortable. I like it. It was clear message from the head coach, and clear message by how it went down. Well, if we take out the fact that Hendon Hooker has 3 turnovers and doesn't have any touchdown drives, he might be in it. Okay. He has no points to his name. Kyle Allen's doing the better job. Kyle Allen's winning. What does that say? It's not about Kyle Allen, really. It's all about Hendon Hooker. It's the Tennessee offense didn't do enough for him, and the opportunity it's slowly whittling away. Kyle Allen's taking the job. He's stealing his job. And Vincent saw my headline. Yeah, Vincent E. Yeah, Hooker fumbled the opportunity. Trippy Gypsy on Hendon Hooker. Brad's plan all along was to have Hooker play himself to trade for a 6th-round pick where he finds his gems at. I think the plan was just to have him as a backup. But it ain't reliable. Nobody would be comfortable at this stage with Hendon Hooker, the number 2. Now the question mark is, do you chance it by waiving him and having him get picked up? Because he'd have to clear waivers. He's less than 4 years in. This is his 3rd year. So this is not good. Not good. And you can't keep Hendon Hooker on the roster opposed to another defensive lineman or offensive lineman. It doesn't work like that. Multiple offensive linemen did return. We talked about it. We got to see Jamarco Jones on the right side. Got to see Dan Skipper in the rotation on the second team. and Taylor Decker, I got to see the starting offensive line, and it's good to see. There's confidence there. It's good to see that, okay, even though you lost a couple, you got some back, and you signed a couple new offensive linemen and a tight end. So Gunnar Britton, I talked to today. Keaton Sutherland also is on the roster. UFL guys putting stuff on tape. And it was nice to kind of get a sense. I missed one question I should have asked. I should have asked Gunnar, what's the process like from the time you get the call to the time you're here? I'm like, it's quick paced. But he's thankful. He hasn't played football in 2 months. He knocked the rust off. Look at that. Inside sources. I love it. Right from the sources here at Lions on SI from a friend, from the Habibi, Mahdi. I heard it was his colleague, number 45, Ukwu, just folded down on him after Ahmed sacked a player. But Ahmed practices as he plays. No different. He's tough. Absolutely. Right from the source. I'm pretty sure you've gotten a message across to the people. Thank you. That's awesome. So, yeah, of course, Ahmed's tough. Middle Eastern people are tough. Phil, it's just different. Yeah, it's just, I wouldn't say energy. Phil gets in. Hooker's not bringing much energy when he plays. The idea is it doesn't command the room. Like, that's what I said when I say he's looking like a number 3. That was my point. He just is there. Like, rally the team, fight for the job, fight to be a starter. What are you doing? I think his confidence is lowered. I think he's been rattled. I think the offense is it's just too much. There's not enough growth. It's just a lot. And it doesn't slow down. The train keeps moving. And they keep signing new people. That's the way of the NFL. Here's the playbook. Figure it out. Mahdi the Habibi on the John Show, the Habibi. That's awesome. Yeah, that's the lesson. It's a clear lesson, John Borowski. You hit it on the head. Welcome to the community. The lesson is don't use third rounders on backups. The lesson is developmental players. You have a lot of them on your roster here. They could be helping you win titles. Yeah, the lesson is be mindful of who you're trying to develop. Maybe they didn't need that pick. It's debatable. But again, we always have to preface it. Brad Holmes has a lot of hits. But there were guys in early rounds that you could argue were relatively fair that most people would draft him. Aiden Hutchinson. But he gets the credit for a lot of later round picks. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Brian Branch, who the Packers are never going to forget and forgive the organization for passing on him. You got a lot of hits. But at this level, the misses, Ennis Rakestraw maybe, Levi Onwuzurike, 3 developmental players. That's 5 draft picks. That's a lot. Chase Lucas. That's a lot. So you think of those guys. I know 7th rounder is not that impactful. The Jamar Jeffersons and things like that. The later round picks. John, that means a lot, man. Thank you. Just a regular guy sharing what he knows and sharing his opinion and open to debate. John Borowski, love the show. And listen, guys, support everybody. Everybody's trying to grind, and I've just been blessed to take the knowledge and be able to spin a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of knowledge across the platform. 500 people in here. Hit the like button. Steaks cooking, medium. Multiple linemen return. Good sign for the Lions moving forward. Check out what Gunnar told us. Basically that the UFL prepared him, gave him the confidence, and it was good that he got the call. Today felt like he was a little rusty, but he won some reps in the pit. All right, so let's make sure we keep it in perspective. This defense was not coming to bite the head off of the offense in the team drill. There was a walkthrough. I was like, oh. I think I tweeted it on X. I said, this is one of those ones where they're throwing the offensive bone like, hey, let the offense get some things, guys. Scale back. Stand down, defense. You're killing the offense. So let them get some love. They weren't trying to kill each other out there. And there were fans in attendance, so they saw. Not padded, not aggressive, not trying to take each other's heads off, not trying to pop Jared Goff's head off. It was one of those deals where, hey, if the guy caught it in front of you, you just let him walk into the end zone. Don't hurt each other was the deal. Three-quarter reps. I don't know how to call it. It's not a walkthrough. They were trying to run, but it wasn't basically full tackle. It wasn't full stop tackling. It was man your stations, be aware, get in your coverage, get in your assignments, but do not take the head off these guys. But they were early. DJ Reed is not afraid of running up on a running back and trying to tackle him. And David Montgomery is not afraid to try and push someone over. Yeah, unfortunately, Scott, Sorsdahl done for the year from the game. IR. Everything Lions on SI. You can see who got hurt. Big fan Phil. We need a stand-up routine, Doc. I'd come see you. Now, this is funny how the world is a small world. My family, a young family member, first cousin, is trying to get into stand-up comedy. He's doing the thing. And I'm like, I could probably spit some funny things and make it really funny. I have thoughts in my head. And if you podcast, you can spit out some stuff. We need a stand-up routine from the Doc. I'd come see you. What would be the content? My adult life? My thoughts on relationships? Funny ways of making fun of football players? I don't know. I could do it. But I'm pretty happy as the PP Prestige Worldwide Rogue Podcaster. PP Prestige Worldwide. Cartier, players dropping like flies. That's right. So when I say small signs of life, I look at it and I say, okay, they had right after the warm-ups, and you guys know now, I think if you listen, I'll give you the layout, how the practice goes. You get there, you start counting players, they warm up, and they start stretching. And every player all on the field, you start stretching. Start counting. Doc's like, okay, please, God, let me count all these people. 11, 18, okay, 33 is not here, blah, 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 blah. You start counting, you're like, oh my God, this is a long list of people. And you have to remind yourself, okay, I'm not counting TA, he's not here. I'm not counting Vaki, he's not here. And you got to get your attendance for the report. Vaki wasn't there. I think we saw, and again, I'm going off of my notes here, TA, Wingo, on the hill, working out, but not practicing. Tim Patrick was there, not practicing. So there was a handful of guys, 4 or 5 guys on the hill, just getting after it, doing their stuff. Rodrigo was out there. It's always good to see him at practice. Cartier. I would watch a comedy set from Doc. Oh, don't let me get comedy famous. Scott, Jackson Meeks making the team, making a case. He's making a case. He has opportunities to get after it. I like what he does, but it's going to be tough. Here's Johnny. Thanks, John Macaroon, for standing tall and endeavoring to persevere, truth, justice, and the American way. Now, Phil, let's take this the right way. Wingo and Rodrigo are present, not practicing. So it's all written at Lions on SI, meaning we see them. Some guys are hurt. You don't see them. We didn't see Vaki. So when I mean they're back is they're out there on the hill. They're with the trainers. We see them physically with our eyes. They're not dressed. So Lions on SI specifically, participation report, and you can go back and look right there on the scroll, si.com/NFL/Lions. The story title is, you see Tristan Cologne's face, and it's Lions are dealing with another massive injury. We have a full update on everybody. Just follow the website. Pretty clear. Yeah, so we got to see him. Oh, I should talk about it, huh? Yeah, we'll save that for the end. I used a phrase that maybe caught the internet's attention. All balls, no D reminded me. I probably have to put a banner. You guys are good. Thank you. Might be the other way around, Phil. Pascal, Levi Onzarike, Hendon Hooker. Those guys that are not hitting are causing problems. So when I say the offense showed small signs of life today, there were some wins in some of these periods. So they stretch, I count, and I'm like, okay, who's here, who's not here? I put that in the participation report. Then they break off into these drills individually, the wide receiver. That's the stuff that you see me taping. You see the running backs doing their work. Each group does their own thing. And typically, you guys now know, if you follow at Detroit Podcast, half the time I do the offense, and then the other half I'll do the defense. I just go back and forth because I know you guys like TA, Ennis Rakestraw, you like Meek Robertson, you like the defense, Jack Campbell, Alex Anceloni, and then the guys that you like, Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra, the running backs, Goff, Hendon Hooker. So in that 10, 15-minute window, I take about I take about 8 minutes to film video, and then the 8 minutes to start counting and making sure that it's accurate. So then it is sometimes it's one-on-one, wide receiver versus cornerback. Today it was 2 versus 2 and 3 versus 3 in route combinations. And it's a little bit more helpful to the coaching staff to run those kind of drills than one-on-one. One-on-one is good to help with a player, but it's more realistic to run 2-on-2 and 3-on-3. And Amon-Ra beat Amik Robertson a couple times, including a deep route. Sam Laporta cleared out room for Khalif Raymond. Brian Branch one step behind, and boom, Laporta made him pay. One of the early wins was Hallett knocking down a pass that was for 10, Ronnie Bell. So early wins. And so it just means that the offense didn't look abysmal. And there were some opportunities that the offense was crisp, making plays. And it happened in 7-on-7 too. But again, perspective. 7-on-7 is for the offense. Like, in essence, they're not trying to take Jared Goff's head off. They're not pressuring. It's just read the defense, get your guy open, and handle it. And if he catches it, now you want good coverage. Hooker did throw an interception in 7-on-7. That wasn't great. It's a drill intended for the offense. Goff lit it up, and it was good. So the way you want to look at it is it wasn't abysmal. The offense showed small signs of life. That's what went down. They were connecting. The big guys connecting. Ja was getting lanes, running his route, and then cutting back to the pylon, getting open. St. Brown, Laporta getting touchdowns. J-Mo getting some work. So it was good in the 7-on-7 period. And then again, the team periods was 3/4 speed. It's hard to decipher, but we'll go through it. We'll go through right now exactly what happened. Then as that was going on, so that's the crazy part is that there's a team period, then they break off. So I stand in the end zone so that I can see the 7-on-7 and I can see just over the other field as to what's happening. You can see the remnants of what's going on. So it was double duty, man. I was trying to write both back and forth, live tweeting what was going on in the red zone, and then looking at the other field as to who was winning in the pits. So there's 2 fields going on. I'm in the far end zone, not in the shade. I'm standing in the heat, trying to battle and watch 2 fields, back and forth, back and forth. And so, it was tough. But what happened in the pits? It was great stuff, man. Good stuff. Offensive line were holding their own. I was very impressed. Very impressed with what I saw in the pits. And that's where the battle, I think that's where I think it's not fair for some of the fans that get to see from the far field at Allen Park. Those that are in the shade covered, they don't get to see the pit, and that's a fun spot to be. Man, it's a fun spot to be, but I'm there, so I get to tell you what I saw. Aiden Hutchinson, 97-58 is always great. Panay won the first rep against Aiden. The second time, Hutchinson got the plus in my notebook. He tried to dip low and use his moves to get on Sewell's outside shoulder. My notes here had the offensive line winning the first 10, 11 reps. The first guy to win was Tyleek Williams against Michael Neese. Then it was kind of even back and forth between the linemen. And basically when it means even is you try to make sure you see who wins the rep by, who gains the leverage, who gets, in regards to the movement. Some guys use power moves, spin moves. And some guys, when they lock up, they just clearly block like that's an even rep. The rep of the pits, Keith Cooper whooped on Mahogany. Push move that got him. It was noticeable. 64-73, highlighted. But then what's good is that they go back again, and Mahogany got the next rep against Keith Cooper. Who stood out? Chris Smith did a good job. He was beating everybody. 4 different guys couldn't stop Smith. He beat Moody pretty clean. Now, here's the problem. And Giovanni Manu admits it. The dude is balling in games, but gets worked in every rep that he goes in practice. Al-Quddin Muhammad got him. Ukwu and Hassani bullied him. 97 goes, I can make a living pushing back. 59. Manu tried to block, tried to use his footwork, but it's not even close. Broderick Martin tried against Kingsley, but unfortunately Broderick did not get the best of Kingsley Egwakun. That's what happened in the pits. Pits, baby. It's fun, man. Boom. They work. 58 versus 97 is always fun. I always try to peek and make sure I see 61 versus 59. I'm liking it. But, man, it's hard because there's so much movement going on. You're trying to write 2 fields down, and you're sweating. So hopefully you guys respect the fact that I'm getting as much of this on this notebook. And I usually write numbers down and pluses and minuses. Man, it's tough. And it's mentally draining. So I don't want to complain, but I feel like I should have been this brain 10 years ago. I should have started earlier. I started covering the NFL at 39. Should have started at 29. Whew, it is hard to cover 2 fields at the same time. You miss stuff. I'm sure there's reps I missed, but I got the big stuff. And then what's great is other reporters help me. Like, hey, what was the big thing that happened? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I got it. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, you guys know. It's tough standing out in the heat. And I really would. Today was close. But my thought was, man, I can't go to the YouTube channel and tell them I got in the shade. Can't do it. It's tough. I'm not doing it. But I'm smart. Brought a towel. The PR staff hit me with the water. It was good. The doc was feeling it, though. I was feeling it. I was fading. Tired. You know what I mean? The bad thoughts creep in. Like, man, I just want to go home. I want to get in the shade. I want to be in the air conditioning. I want to get out of this sweat-soaked shirt. Then you're just like, you got work to do. You got to cover this. Doc at 29 must have looked like a tan baby. No, actually, it's wild. In the older stage of life, I've had more opportunity to be outside. I had the farmer tan. Now I got the best tan. No, I was more pale. I was not as tan. I lived inside. I lived in the psychology office. Now I get outside. Now I go for the walks. Now I'm covering football. Brent, Doc has true grit. Stand in the sun, deal with it, cover the team because that's the closest vantage point. Think about it. If the shade's in the back, 8 yards, and I can be 8 yards closer, I got to take advantage. I'm old. I got old eyes. That's the deal. So, and you go from that, and then it was weird because we were all like, huh? What's going on? 60 minutes are on the clock, and it just starts ticking down, and we're like, okay. We're all wondering, like, this is looking like a walkthrough. This isn't looking like defense. Like, oh, this is not looking. It's a scrimmage in essence. And then it transitioned into some situational type stuff. early on, like I said, the defense was getting after it, but not tackling. They weren't destroying it was not the same intensity. So take this for what you will. St. Brown, Khalif Raymond got tosses from Goff. And then Jake Bates had a bad day today. A lot of misses, deep misses. He only made from like 33 and a 28-yarder, I think. So the first go around, I think it went 10 minutes, was like a drive, but not a touchdown drive. And then I tweeted, Kyle Allen gets a situation, but in a worse spot. The defense pressured on back-to-back plays and ended their drive. Nowatzki got in there, and 17, Boodle got in there and made Allen uncomfortable, and he had to like toss the ball out. So it was okay. Nothing crazy. And then when the ones came back, the play of the day, but again, we all said that it literally looked like, and it was said audibly, Kirby doesn't even want to cover. Kirby left J-Mo wide open, and J-Mo got a touchdown. Cover zero, nothing. It was, like I said, it was basically three-quarter speed from the defense. J-Mo got in the end zone, which is good. You're not going to complain. You're not going to complain when you see J-Mo wide open, catch the ball. And then to end it, the situations I wrote down were about midfield, 50-yard line, about a minute left, couple timeouts, down 3 points, 21-24. That didn't go good for Goff. Tyleik Williams was in his face. And then what was wild, because he recognized it, stepped, threw it, and Aiden almost just literally got it, but his momentum was carrying him with the route, so it almost got an interception. Hutchinson, if it's a day that ends in Y, Hutch is balling. There was one rep where they neglected to block him, and he literally just would have, if he wanted to, it would have been one of those routes where where the tight end clears and he goes out to his route, and they leave the wide defensive end to come in, to pressure. Hutchinson literally could have the cleanest rep he would have ever had on Jared Goff. And so that was when you saw the tweet I wrote on X. You might want to focus on that guy. Chip the man, block the man. So you can see it as the timeline goes. I'm like, you might want to pay attention to 97. And you can almost see him like he's so upset that he's got to just run full speed, smack right up into the quarterback, and then stop, and then just kind of laugh as he's going by. Like, beep, like flag football. Imagine a flag football. Like, he runs so fast that the guy can't even set to get to his pass, and he's ripping the flag off. That's how bad it was. Goff on third downs, the third down play, sailed it to Laporta. And then Raymond was covered by DJ Reed. Turnover on downs. Nothing for you. Defense wins that. The defense got the ball at their own, a little bit worse, own 30-yard line, not midfield, 28 seconds and 3 timeouts. This was the Jackson Meeks show. Allen found 83. Unfortunately, it was Meeks getting a lot of attention. They ended the offensive series with a run play in the middle to set up what would have been a field goal. And all right, you're like, Bates, end this on a nice note, 56-yarder, wide left. And thankfully, the practice ends. You're like, oh, it was thankfully, what was it? We started at 10:30. Was it 12:15? Thankfully. I thought it was going to go until 12:45. He ended a little early. Thank you, Dan. It was declared to end later. Whew. And then we had to run to get the interviews, which we have sprinkled all over the place. So that's what happened at practice. It was professional. Walk-through pace, defense not into it to the degree that they would have took the head off the offense. But think about it. It's a day off. The fireworks start Wednesday. And you know why the fireworks start Wednesday? Going to put a banner up here. You're going to get a little slice, a little sample of some crap talking from one of the linebackers. I'm just going to Say it was a one-on-one talk with me and Grant Stewart. Great guy. I'll put the note here. He was already calling out Miami. It was great. I was like, oh man, this Q&A is going to be nice. You're going to like it. Grant Stewart tells me, I'm Lions on SI, I'm Detroit Podcast, I'm Doc. I'm going by 9 names, but I think the more names I want to take on, the less then people associate with me if I get in trouble. It's the Doc. It's the podcaster. It's Lions on SI. Like, it's John. Like, what do you go by? I don't know. I go by whatever I feel like at the moment. Dolphins, get ready. He's like, they don't practice like we practice. He's like, I practice against them. So basically, he's calling them soft, in my opinion. I'll re-listen to it. I was so enthralled. Like, you love when you talk to guys that have energy. And here's what he told me. That's the money line. He's like, I asked him directly, and get your questions in. I'll probably be here another 15, 20 minutes, maybe longer. I said to him, I was talking to him, and he was walking, and he was holding his gear, and I just wanted to check in with him because the man's making plays. He's good. I wanted to ask about why Detroit, what he likes about it, what his deal is. It's good stuff. The whole interview I'm going to put on a podcast. You can hear it and read the whole thing. So check it out, Lions on SI tomorrow. Oh yeah, there's another topic too. 2 topics I got to get to that I think are interesting, just not regarding practice. It's more of the same, but it's fun. I know that other outlets do their annual polls, and some interesting stuff came out. It'll be probably the content topic of the next article. But he told me, he's like, I said, you're a linebacker. Your job is to destroy people. Like, and the interesting thing I've always asked a lot of these players is, how do you turn that off? Like, how do you become a regular dude after practice? Like, your job is to go out there and destroy people, hit people, hurt people. And then because of what happened to Maurice Norris. So we talked about that a little bit. And he's like, I kind of like, I got 2 boys and I don't really turn that shit off. I'm like, what? And he said, I'm rambunctious. I kind of got that energy. I'm all about ball. He's like, I don't turn it off. I'm all about ball. So he's in that football mindset all the time. What an answer. Grant Stewart's rugged. He's like, what do you mean turn it off? Like, dude, you're like thinking about hurting people? Yeah. That's a linebacker. Oh, that's scary, dude. I'm not going to lie. But that's how you got to be. That's the kind of, and I told, that's how I introed it. I said, man, I love watching defense. I love cutting up the defensive film and watching your movement and what you're doing and everything like that. I appreciate it. He was loving that. I'm like, man. And so I assumed he was going to tell me like, well, I just kind of turn it off and hang out. And no, he's like, dog, I don't turn that off. He's like, I got 2 boys. We're going at it. So that guy's rugged and full gear, full stop all the time. That's what it takes. I love it. I love that answer. I never would have expected that. And I hope the way it comes across, I'm going to lightly edit it. I'm only going to take out like the ums and the nonsense. You know what I mean? The little pauses or stuff that doesn't need to be there. You're going to hear how I asked it and how he said it. He started laughing. He's like, so I really don't turn it off. And so I asked him about the Dolphin. He's like, get ready. He's like, a lot of teams don't practice how we practice. So he likes this practice style. Like, it's rugged. Football players that come to Detroit that love Lions practice, those are football players. Those that don't are soft and don't need to be here. That dude's bought in. I think he loves it. And he said he turned down other opportunities with less complex defenses that would have been vanilla, he said. I loved it. I loved the chat. It was great. He opened up. He was in a good mood, and he was laughing. Yeah, David. Grant's a throwback. Yeah, it's a linebacker. Most linebackers are cool. All of them are cool, especially on the Lions. I've never had a conversation with a linebacker. I didn't go, okay, that's pretty cool. Even the ones that don't like what I say. We're all friendly. Grant Stewart is rugged. That guy fits. Oh my God, that guy fits. He's like, turn it off. What's he talking about, man? He almost looked at me like I was asking a crazy question. I'm like, don't you like kind of hang out like me and all that kind of stuff? He's like, turn it off. He's like, nah, man, I don't turn it off. Don't turn it off, man. Don't turn it off. Get after it. That guy's going to be great on special teams and get in some reps, hopefully, and make some plays. You guys got any nicknames for Grant Stewart? He's a great guy, dude. Great guy. Broski Bear gets in. Doc, what's your over-under on how many games Davenport plays this season? 13, but we'll be there for the playoffs. Thank you to the nearly 600 people in here. Hit the like button. Raise it up. The more likes, the longer I stay. I got 2 more topics. Just a fan. Doc is the rock. Yeah, I got so many now iterations. I'm the purveyor of positive perspective. The psychologist that purveys positive perspectives. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Marcus Davenport over under 13 games? What do you guys think? Thank you guys for hopping in here, man. It's fun. It's a midday, 600 people. Let's go across multiple platforms. Brent, multiple times now, gets in with this. Aiden O'Connell trade rumors got me fired up. I wanted him, and now I'm apparently correct. You guys want Aiden O'Connell? I guess I got to go back to it. It makes sense that I didn't ask this question. If the Lions part ways with Hendon Hooker, here's the deal, guys. There's a handful of backups that have experience. The Sam Howells of the world, the Marcus Mariotas. Jameis is everybody and their mom has messaged me at Detroit Podcast. Jameis. Okay, I got it. You guys are into Jameis. Shedeur Sanders. You're into Shedeur Sanders. Dylan Gabriel. You're into him. Who do you fancy if it's not Hendon? I know you guys are like okay with Kyle Allen, but you could have 3 quarterbacks. You're flirting with Kyle, but you're not committed. You're not going to give him the ring. Ever. You're going to say what you need to say, but they're not going to get the commitment ring to Kyle Allen. Nor should you. You still want to look around a little bit online. You still want to look around on the waiver wire, per se. The Tinder of the NFL. The waiver wire. I know the guy that you guys all love, Carson Wentz. I just don't like Carson Wentz. He's prototypical. He kind of feels like the guy, but it just feels like a little 5% better version of Nate Sudfeld if he puts in the game. Maybe with that talent, they can elevate a lot of these guys and they can be better. But all these guys remind me of somebody that you would like on a date once. But then if you repeat and have to go back, if they have to be there for 3-4 games, you're not going to like it. Robert is not even mincing words. Robert's like, he sucks. What do you think about Jameis Winston? What do you think about trading for an Aiden O'Connell or somebody else? What do you think about Shedeur Sanders? He ain't going to be the starter. Maybe he'll be the starter and prove everybody wrong. I would love the circus that Shedeur Sanders would bring here. 2 weeks in, he'd be like, I could be the starter. My dad told me, tell everybody that I could be the starter. Dog, Jared Goff makes $50 million. I could be the starter. You want that. Hendon's like, Hendon bought into the corporate nature of the job. Just trying to get better one day at a time. And just trying to get after it. Shedeur is completely different. But I did see that he confronted a reporter. Man, reporter, you only write negative stuff about me. What'd I do to you? Be like, Doc, I saw what you wrote about me on your podcast. I'd be like, really? I'd be like, make sure, get the camera. The Lions on SI podcast you listen to? The reporter's got to know a little bit what to say. The Lions on SI podcast you heard, Shedeur? What'd I say? Because I know I'm going to say good things and bad things. Did you cut out the bad parts? I know Shedeur's not going on anywhere. Come on, we're just fantasy land. Shedeur ain't going nowhere, Cartier says. The Browns fans going to burn their city down if he gets cut. We're just speculating. Who, besides Hendon Hooker, do you fancy? I don't know. That's the question I haven't answered yet. Who's next? I know I don't want to see a player that's not as confident as he should be and not as further along as he should be. You know, Phil, what's up? Doc only says truthful things. Oh, Trey Lance enters the conversation. All right. Hit the comments with, and after this, who do you want to see on the Lions sideline as a backup? Is there somebody that could legitimately push Goff, or somebody that at least would make you comfortable if Goff goes down? It's not as bad. It's not automatic. Season's over. Because right now, Goff goes down, season's over. Goff goes down, this season is over. Over. Capital O-V-E-R. Oh, you heard the other shows. That's what would happen to me. We're all hyping up Wentz, Jameis. You know, all the backups. We have a breaking news announcement here from the national media. The Detroit Lions are bringing back Tim Boyle. Please, I deserve better. You know the doc wants better. Let's go. Now that would be great. Kirk Cousins, the contract, man, they got to figure that out. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for me, brother. That contract is not going to work for me or Brad Holmes. Who would make this job better? Make this more entertaining, much more reasonable as a competition that we could write about. All right, a couple more banners here. And this one is on the entertainment side. And it's going to be interesting because it actually opened up the other side, which I was very much intrigued by, because I don't see NFL players reacting this way. But let's see. TMZ portion of the podcast. This is something I'm very interested in. Catchdoll deleted, apparently. I haven't checked officially to confirm it, but I responded to someone who put that out there. Catchdoll and Za'Darius, unfortunately, were not able to reconcile some significant differences, and they've ended their courtship. So my headline was, his distractions are gone. He should be right back to it. Get back to work. Nothing better to cure a broken heart than training camp football. What becomes of the brokenhearted? 7-on-7, 11-on-11 team drills. Football, baby. What becomes of the brokenhearted? Get back to Allen Park and get after Jared Goff. But that tweet now from Catchdoll, which was very personal, Darius is like, come on, man. Like, they're quoting this in their stories, man. Take this down. In our efforts to reconcile our relationship, it just felt like it didn't work out. So we've decided to end our relationship. Darius is now unattached, no distractions. Should be all about football. The best way to deal with a broken heart is to hit people. Play football. Robert, you coming strong. Let's go. Listen, nobody drops Za'Darius Smith. Mutual. I don't know the story, but I think it was mutual. It was mutual. But now that leaves me, I'm like, okay, the distractions are over. The summer fling is over. Good. You did your thing. The relationships with high-profile people don't work out typically. You're playing football, and she's an entertainer. That doesn't work. I'm a psychologist. All these Hollywood relationships don't work because of distance, and he's going to have every opportunity in the world to date 15 other people. It's never going to work. True love don't beat temptation. And the temptation would be great for Za'Darius Smith. He's got money. He's got a Florida residence, and he's a football player. I don't see it working out. I'm sorry. So the distraction's over. Get back to camp. Sign a deal. Get a check. But you all are perceptive. You are very perceptive, and you're like, man, maybe he's going to have a hard time because he might run into her in Detroit. He might go somewhere else. He might have a bad taste in his mouth from Cash Doll. He can't go to LCA anymore. The best would be, TMZ Doc shoots a game where it's the Pistons and the Knicks, and Cash Doll's here on one side, and Za'Darius is here with another girl on the other. Cash Doll, how do you feel about that? I'm John Macaroon, Lions on SI, PP Worldwide podcaster. What do you think? She'll be like, it's fine. It's all good. And he'll be like, oh, I didn't know she was here. You didn't know she was here? You brought her? You didn't know she was here? Brings a 10. Brings someone that looks just like her. We don't need all that. Now, he could avoid all that. I don't think he wants to go down that road. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of not into all that kind of drama. Za'Darius, what happened with you and Cash Doll? I don't know if he wants to answer those kind of questions. Any chance of reconciliation? Make that beautiful music again? But now that he broke up, I looked at it like straight football. Get back to the field. But I can see the avenue in which he has now a little bit of a different vibe of how he's going to attack this. Maybe Buffalo, Green Bay, Chicago, other teams that offer more cash. So that's different. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Za'Darius Smith? Does this open up your hope that he comes back or ends it? Or a lot of you are saying, Doc, you are hyper focused on Za'Darius. What's the deal with all this attention you've been giving Za'Darius Smith? Why? Why has your focus hit on Za'Darius when there's younger players? Keith Cooper's doing a good thing. Good job. You're right. Very much so. Do you think there's another free agent out there that could handle it? You let me know. All right, one last topic here before I get out of here. Get your last set of questions in. Any super chats, super thanks, get to the top of the line. Hit the like button. Let's keep climbing it. Everybody in here should hit the like button. If you're on X, retweet. Now, what happens is, and I've never done this. I have the opportunity to do it. I do talk to these same people. But I think it's fair, but some of the descriptions are not fair. This is about Jared Goff. Every year, what these people do, and it kind of has started to take on the feel of like, we can't prove that it's true, so we just know that you do it. But I legitimately do talk to league executives and people and front office people and general managers. You do talk to them, typically for background information on players and ideas and stuff like that. You do get the info. You meet these people in the NFL circles. But for me, I've never really brought it on the record and said, hey, here's what I don't think people like that anymore. So I don't even, for jokes, I use the word sources. For stuff that's official, I just say, I'm hearing. Somebody told me. I think it's just better. Somebody told me this. Now, I think the ones that I say, you can pretty much know I'm lying. Like Scott Harris is not interested in Bartolo Colon, but they're so outlandish, you can pretty much make do. Like you guys heard, I heard that Tate Ratledge and Tyleek were going to play. People text, you listen, you hear, you get it confirmed. So the easy stuff is straightforward. I don't like to use the word sources because people don't believe it. So when people go, I'm going to do a poll of anonymous executives, and here's what they tell me. They tell me, the doc, that Jared Goff's a second-tier quarterback, and 8 executives think he was a third-tier quarterback, but that the reason why they voted him third tier is because he needs everything to be perfect to succeed. It's lazy. It's uninformed. It's literally an outsider looking at a quarterback doesn't understand what he's about. But on its surface, and they do it every year. Oh, we make these rankings. It's content, but we never get a chance to know who these people are. I'd be like, use my name. John Macaroon, executive from the Bills, says, I don't think Jared Goff is that good. Use your name. What are you going to hide for? You say it. It's football. John Macaroon says. So if I ever get asked, I'm not going to say I hide behind it on a condition of anonymity. Use my name. I said it. I own it. Use my name. Don't call me a source. Just say John Macaroon told me. But And you guys don't like it. I mean, you guys literally, that's why McAfee jokes about it. I joke about it. Sources told me. Well, yeah, sources can say anything if you're not going to reveal who they are. But I know sometimes you have to say it because the person tells you, hey, this is information. You can use it, but you can't tell. They tell you, don't use it. And you guys can always know. If you have a real question about anything I'm posting, you can message me. Doc, is this serious or are you clowning around? And I'll answer it. Because I have put out a lot of jokes and the fake tweets, texts of the day. No, guys, Kim Kardashian was not texting me about veto back in the day. I think they're still live on the internet. No, guys, Jim Leland does not praise the doc for his great takes via text. I don't share the text publicly with people ever. So if you see it, I took it away. I stopped using the text of the day. It was a funny bit. I loved it because some people would believe it. The DSP text of the day. Kim Kardashian wants to know the latest shawarma spot and wants to hang out with Vito. Really? Really? But it's anonymous. I think that the one name that caught everybody's attention, they have Stafford as number 5. It's the ones you know: Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford. One of these names just doesn't belong here. And it's Stafford, tier 1 quarterback. That's respect at the highest level. Tier 1. Why? Big arm. Stafford's a tier 2 quarterback. Tier 1 is those 4. That's tier 1, respectfully. All those guys individually can take a team pretty much and get a lot of wins. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Those are great names. So Jared Goff is rightfully a second-tier quarterback. Now, I don't think that it's a fair assessment to say he needs everything perfect around him. He needs a lot of weapons, which is, hey, if you realize, why wouldn't you not give a quarterback a nice offensive line, couple receivers, and some running backs? Why wouldn't you do that? That just helps. That makes a guy like Jared Goff be able to throw for 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Why would you not? And remember, Burrow doesn't have a ring. Lamar Jackson doesn't have a ring, and Josh Allen doesn't have a ring. That's just purely their talent and their mobility and their ability to extend plays. They have all the tools. They have all the sexy tools. They have the mobility. They have the arm. They have the swagger. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Jackson. The fearsome foursome. I want that. Now, that's just my jealousy. The pocket passer is awesome. I grew up loving Montana and Marino. But now, chicks dig the long ball. NFL fans love the mobile quarterback because when Aiden's chasing you, instead of Goff getting his ass beat, he could run, if he had mobility, for 35 yards. He could single-handedly take the ball to the house. I like that. I like that option. The more athletic, the better. But Goff has to compensate for that. He's done a great job of it by using his smarts. He's a smart, sophisticated quarterback that can run a sophisticated offense. But defenses have a chance, the top of the top, not the crumb bums that are going to play at Ford Field this year. I'm talking about the top 4 teams in the NFL. They're going to have defensive lines that can get you, get home on a zero blitz. The front 4 will beat you. That's the top 1% of football. Not the average guys that try to pressure where Goff can see and check down and get the answer right away. I'm talking about the Eagles. I'm talking about teams with great defensive lines, what the Ravens are going to do on Monday Night Football with their linebacker play and their pressure. So Jared Goff rightfully listed as a second-tier quarterback. Am I wrong? Is that right? Is he a tier 1? Am I just blindsided by my love of mobility, my love of the elusive quarterback? Michael Vick started it. What are you talking about? Michael Vick started it. Michael Vick just copied Randall Cunningham. Randall was the man that got us all going, wait a minute, this game is changing. Randall Cunningham was a freak. He'd get after it. Steve Young. was a freak. Athletic, could do a lot of different things. Is Jared Goff a tier 1 quarterback? Are we wrong? I don't know. I always look at it like it's fair tier 2, but I always consider the other stuff like I would have voted him a tier 3. Put your name on it then. Tell us that you'd say, put yourself on camera and say, I think Jared Goff's tier 3 and he's not mobile. I would not let anybody write anything I say and say sources. That'll never happen. John said it. Come hell or high water. John Macaroon said it. But I can see why, though. When you say something about number 34 on the Lions and he don't like it, he's going to ask you about it. I should have said, per sources. I should have said, when they asked me, are you trying to be funny, John, in your tweets? I should have been like, I didn't tweet that. That was Vito. That was Vito. I don't do that stuff. I just send him the clips. Vito, VITOCHIRCO. That wasn't me. It says Detroit Sports Podcast, but I let Vito do it. No, I took the blame and said, no, that was me. Yeah, it was me. I'm not trying to be funny. I stood right in front of a linebacker and said, no, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to get a story. I'm trying to state my opinion. I should have said, no, it was sources. It was Christian did it. Christian's rogue. He takes over, like, during practice. I can't tweet. I could have lied right to his face. Alex, no, man, I can't tweet during practice. That's Vito. Yeah, Vito, the one in the photos, Vito. But I could see where sources sometimes can be easier for these guys to do it. Richard, thank you guys. Thanks, Doc, for keeping me informed about my favorite team, the Lions. You're the best, Doc. You always show the passion. Exactly. 90 minutes flew by. I feel like I can go another 90 minutes. But that's my time for today. I went over the 69 minutes that I was trying to get at. Man, these 90 minutes fly by. I never thought it would be this easy to just talk into a microphone for a long period of time. But I know the Lions. I know them deeply, and I know what people are into. So that's what happened today at practice. Offense got a little taste of success. They got a little taste. And now the work begins because Miami's up next. That'll be our talk tomorrow. Christian's going to get the preview done. I'm going to hit the video. And tomorrow we'll talk turkey. Tua versus Reed. Tyreek versus J-Mo. Dan Campbell, is there going to be a race between Tyreek Hill and Jamison Williams at this joint practice? Who do you think would win and why, Dan? Dan, Tua's an interesting character. Do you think he's got championship mettle? I know a lot of fans support him. Dan, do you think Jared is in the same boat as Tua? Brent, I'm just sitting in the van down by the river with a bag of something called Doc Smack Panic Attack. Brent wants to tell us every day what he's getting high to. I'll take it. I like that. But let's just use the right spelling. Panic. Doc Max Panic Attack. I love it. I love it. You guys are great. You fire me up. All right, maybe 5 more minutes. If you got any more questions, let me know. That was funny. Funny part is, imagine if it ever blows up, I'll promise you, I've never been high in my life. I've never toked. I've never put the sticky icky near these lips. Going to Michigan State, I smelled it a lot. The guy next to me, oh my God, quick 2-minute rant. The guy next to me was a player. And I never asked him about it, but he would get high every weekend, and he was making relations with new women every week in our shower. And I would be like studying, and it would be, and I'm talking about all hours of the day at Michigan State. I had my own dorm to avoid this nonsense. And then at 6 a.m., it would smell like reefer, and the girl would be screaming her head off in the shower. I was like, dog, can a homie get some sleep? So the guy next to me was good looking, and he took advantage of the college opportunity. I'm like, I don't think in the 13, 14 ladies he brought back, I don't think he did it twice with the same lady. And I don't think he considered the fact that his stuff was coming through the window, coming through the doors. Like most people turn on a fan, put a towel down. My man was open, smoking reefer in 1998, 99. Getting it in. every weekend. So I would just said, okay, forget this. I'd go home every other weekend. So I'd work and then I'd go home to East Point from Michigan State. My man was living the best life. And I was jealous. I was a worker. I was a studier. I had to work. I had no time to flirt. My God. Michigan State was crazy. If you just let me talk for 4 hours about what happened at Michigan State prior to the cell phone, I saw it all. I grew up, put hair on your chest. First weekend. And my daughter's like 13. She's like, can I go? No, absolutely not. I'm trying to tell her it's not a good place. But Dad, you went there. No, you are not allowed to tell me about Michigan State. Absolutely not. Shut it down. But my wife, John, what if you? No, you're going to Oakland so we can have dinner. No, I'm not letting my daughter go to Michigan State. I went there. I have firsthand knowledge of what went down there. Thanks, Doc. Your show is like fresh air. Thank you, guys. You let me have a good time. Give you a little steak, sizzle potatoes, a little bit of sides, and a little bit of life lessons. Don't let your daughters go to Michigan State. I don't care how good girls they are. They will not be good girls at Michigan State. It's just impossible. I saw the most conservative, church-going, beautiful ladies do things, unsavory things at Michigan State. Unsavory. It was beautiful memories. Why do you think Doc is so happy? I went to Michigan State, had the best memories of anybody. I just can't air them. It's unairable. And it all happened. Whatever you thought it happened, it happened. It was great. So my situation was fun in that I had 3 roommates at Acres, and they were wild boys. They went there, and they were the smart wild boys who could party and succeed. I was like, no, hell no. I'm just going to party 1 day a week on Saturday. I'm hitting the library. I was a dork. I just wanted to get in, get out, get a degree. But I saw things. I saw things. Whew. I mean, I just wish that there would have been cameras. Doc wouldn't have been corporate. I couldn't have worked at a corporate job. I partied a lot at MSU. So did I. I got the PhD in that just once a week for 4 years. Oh my God. The stories I could tell. When I make it big, you'll know, because the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go on Booner's podcast, be like, Booner, here we go. Here's a title, the MSU Chronicle Files from Doc. Sit back, because you think the stuff that's going on in WNBA, that was just a Wednesday. Amazing. It was heaven. It was heaven on earth. All things. It was. I described those 4 years as heaven on earth for a guy like me. I grew up. I handled the responsibility. I didn't flunk out, and I got to cover and got to get in, get out, and have a good time. But yeah, no weed for the Doc. Brent, my close friend dorm was next to Jeff Smokers. Nice. Please be sure to spray a new to your podcasters. STD free. The DOC. How the hell that happened? I worked at Rite Aid. You know I was not paying for those things. Definitely taking them out once a week. Sorry, Rite Aid. I owe you, let's see, how much are they? $19, 20, 80, 40. I probably owe you $300. I'll pay it back. STD free, the DOC checking out. Lions, good day of practice, good day of podcasting, guys. Thank you for all your support. It really means a lot to me. Let's get after it. One more story, a couple more at Lions on SI. Let's get after it. Thanks, everybody. Tomorrow, previewing the Dolphins and the Lions. What do you want to see? What should I ask Dan about the joint practices? Let's get after it, guys. Have a beautiful Monday. No case of the Mondays here. We get after it. Get after it. Let's have a good week. We'll check back tomorrow.